My name is Master Sergeant Turcott, and I'm assisted by Specialist Carvel and Sergeant Doggett, and we're going to work on giving you a basic instruction on aspecting. So this year at the Fort Lee Show and future years, the teams would be better equipped to handle this process. Basically what we did last night is we bloomed the gelatin. Gelatin, there's two different types of gelatin. There's a type A and a type B. A type A is made from pig skin and rinds, and the type B is made from bone marrow. The type that we use to gel food is type B, the bone marrow one. And basically what we're doing is we're mixing 16 parts to 1 part to 1 gallon of water, 16 ounces of gelatin to 1 gallon of water. And the water is distilled water or bottled water, preferably distilled water. What you're doing is the water is at room temperature. You place it in a clean stainless steel bowl, and then you're slowly powdering the powder on top very slowly so that it soaks in. Occasionally you can mix it, but you mix it very easily so you don't get a lot of bubbles into the water. Once all the gelatin is soaked in, you let it set overnight. So you're starting this actually 48 hours from when you're going to aspect the products that you prepared. The day prior, just before you leave for the night, you get a large 15-gallon pot, and the bowl that's in the pot high enough away from the heat so none of the heat is hitting the bowl so it doesn't tan the aspect. And basically you're getting this good and hot to 140 or 145 degrees. Never bring aspect over 145 degrees or it starts to tan, and that's not what you want. So once we get it up to the proper setting of 145, you're basically leaving that overnight. And the next morning when you come in to do your aspecting, it's pretty much at the temperature you're going to want it at. Okay? Another thing you can do ahead of time, for a show the size of the tables that we're doing at Fort Lee, you probably need 60 or 70 of these trays. And basically what you're doing is you're wetting the tray with a towel, and then you're stretching plastic wrap on it and squeezing out the bubbles. Not important that you get every single wrinkle out, because this is on the bottom of the products that you're preparing, so it's not essential that everything is out of it. Okay? Some of the tools you're going to need, they have real aspect tools that are screened nets. For the seasoned worker, these work very well. For someone who is starting out, really the pallet spatulas and wide spatulas are what you really want. You want the spatula to be wide enough so that the product that you're dipping is completely on the spatula. It's not hanging off and bending the product. On the stove here, you can use a sterno, but sternos aren't allowed in 4200. So what we encourage you to do is set up something like this, a bain-marie, and basically it's just a 4-inch pan with a 2-inch pan inside it, and we have a cloth in there to soak up the aspect as you're dipping it. We're going to come over to here. As you're dipping, and I'll show you this process in just a few minutes, as you're dipping the vegetables and stuff, you want to have all your seasonings here. Your seasonings are, chives and salt and pepper, different types of herbs and spices. If you're doing we're going to show you a quick potato salad, so we have shallots and garlic mixed together, and we have the boiled eggs with egg whites and egg yolks. And you can basically, anything that you would season your vegetables with or products with for a plate, this is where you would add your seasoning, right after your first dip, okay? We have some of the stuff you're going to need through the whole process. You're going to need a lot of cheesecloth. It's better to have it all cut and ready to go. You're going to need towels to keep changing these out. After probably 15 to 20 minutes, you need to take that out, rinse it with hot water, put a clean one in. Lots of gloves, probably a full box or a box and a half for the dipping process. We have a torch, and the torch is used for the cleaning process, and I'll show that to you in a while. Basically, to hit the bubbles out. This is not a preferred method, but if you get towards the end and you need to use it, it's acceptable. Then a lot of different brushes. Aspecting is not just dipping. A lot of it is brushing the product, small products like rice and so on and so forth. Lots of different size bowls, because some products are longer. They need to go into a smaller bowl. You want to kind of get them all set up in your refrigerator so that as you're bringing them out, you're doing all the dipping at the same time and all the meats at the same time. And you're going to want to get some styrofoam, put some toothpicks in it, wrap it with plastic wrap so that as you're dipping, none of the styrofoam is getting into your product. Sometimes I see people with large pieces of styrofoam. You really only want 6 to 10 pieces on each piece of styrofoam to do it properly. And then you're going to need a pan for cleaning process, and I'll show you how you use that in a bit. A thermos, you want to have a thermos of hot aspect, so when you go over to the schoolhouse to set up your products, you can pour some of this into a bowl and do any touch-up work that might have happened on your way over there. Or if you're running late, maybe you can finish your vegetables and some of the stuff on the platters over there so you don't miss your time. Okay. Give me my aspect. Now, bringing the aspect down, you're going to come in, and this stuff's probably going to be at about 110 or 115 degrees. The ideal dipping temperature, you're going to go crazy sticking thermometers in this all the time. That's not that important. What you want to do is you want to get it into here. The ideal dipping temperature is around 92, 93 degrees is when you should start, and sometimes you can dip all the way down to 88 or 85.